Welcome to Kaijudo 24/7. This is Jared Dockstader. I'm Steve Ferry. I've got mustard. Now we're going to talk about our top 8 favorite multi-civ cards.
Starting with number 1, which is Piercing Judgement. This card has seen a ton of play. It's pretty darn good.
It bounces things. It taps things. It's a removal spell. It's a temple spell. It does everything a little girl ever asks for.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Fantastic Blast, combos well with Keeper of Dawn, combos well with any creature that's bigger than their creature that you end up tapping and leaving in play for removal. Pretty straightforward. It's seen its fair amount of play.
Lots of play. Tons of play.
Yeah.
Next one, Sharktopus. I can't pronounce its name.
Squillis Scourge. Definitely a card that has seen play in control. Definitely a control card, as is Piercing Judgment. But you kind of have to build around it. You can't just raw dog it into a bottle deck.
Oh, you can.
You can, I guess, but it's scary. It's just a really solid card. Hits play, prevents the counter swing. I think it's one of the reasons that Greed Dragons got shoved out of the meta so hard is because you could, the control decks could run the Squillis Scourge, stick it, and then that's when they were ready to swing into shields. Because if you bottled into your Infernus or any other beefy dude, it was like...
And all these cards fix mono.
He's just gonna...
Early game, he just hits the mono zone.
Oh yeah, you can just drop him right into mono zone.
And you're like, neat, I have blue and purple.
Yeah.
Not much to say there.
Yeah, well, right now he...
Also good on the counter swing, like in those grindy games where it's back and forth. Can't figure out who's playing the aggro. He might steal you that other turn.
Yeah.
Or force damage through blockers.
The biggest relevant thing he's counter swinging into right now, I guess, is Hive Queens. They trade, but
it's better than not losing to it or losing to it.
Losing to the queen.
Yep, you don't want to lose to it. It's a fatty. She's a fatty.
Moving on to the next one on our list, number 3 is Tetsurian, the Champion. Earth Power showed this card a lot of love in one of his brews pre-KMC before he played Mega Bugs, I think. He was the one before he was playing this Fire Nature aggro brew. And I've done a little playing with Champion, and he just
fits a lot of potential.
He fits really nice in like any kind of curve. You can throw him at the top of the curve, and he'll drop something in, and then you've pushed your curve a little ahead without sacrificing anything in hand. He double breaks. If the card that flips into mana is red, then you could rumble in there for 2 shields or crush one of the creatures that's tapped down to your opponent's side of the field right away. So I mean, he's not bad baseline, and he has a potential upside. So
yep, there's really no downside to this guy.
Yeah, and the reason he's not 1 or 2, I guess, is because I haven't really seen him. Like Earth Power performed very well with that card, but otherwise,
we're kind of judging these cards by how good they are right now, like just by the card itself.
Yeah.
It may never see play because it doesn't get the support it needs, but hey, guess what? It's still a good card by itself if you look at it.
Right, yeah, the top of this list is definitely more so cards that you don't necessarily need. You don't need another thing with it to make it good. It's a pretty standalone card. Piercing by itself is pretty solid. Sharktopus, Squillis Scourge by itself, pretty solid. Tetsurian, pretty solid. And then moving on into the next slot, Aqua Strider. Pretty solid. Turn 2 comes down, blocks
for days, skirmisher, counter swings into a lot of things. Keepers, makes your opponent think twice before attacking. Better than the Starseed Lantern. Is that it?
Starseed Lantern.
The one we were playing when he won the KMC.
We didn't end up playing we were playing at that slot
2 mana, 3,000.
Sunseed Stalker.
Sunseed Stalker.
That's what we're thinking of.
It's been a long time now.
Yeah, since that card has been.
Yeah. Play.
Well, it seems like a long time, but it's Clash has only been out for however long. But yeah. So Aqua Strider, but yeah, Steve covered a lot of ground with that one. So the next one, kind of in the same vein, Full Metal Lemon.
It's the medalist.
And the lemoniest. It's
Sour Patch
have
Kids
some
for kids.
have some pretty bitter opponents if they're playing aggro and you drop it. Bitter lemons. Okay.
That was good. I'm sure somebody will laugh at that.
I hope so. Yeah, sticks in play. Not the juiciest.
This pun's for days.
But it does have that juiced ability where if they do end up getting it out of the way, it probably bought you enough time, and now it's going into your mana and pushing your clock. Now that you've had time to kind of get cards in hand.
It's a blocker and resource that really never goes away unless it gets bounced a lot.
And it counter swings and trades with what?
Keeper
of Laws. So, and that's a card right now. So that probably ends the cards that are pretty good on their own, and now we're into the lower half of the list.
We have disagreements about the next card. I think it's good by itself, just judging it.
Homunculon Blaster.
It's kind of like a Lyra. Given you do have to have another guy in play to make it good. But so does Piercing Judgment to get the removal spell out of it. Sort of.
Fair enough. Yeah, I didn't think it was... I mean, it needs another thing. It costs 5. It's a pseudo Lyra. It does have the buff clause. It's kind of a toss-up. And all these cards, I mean, we go top down 1 till... We went top down.
Yeah, we definitely screwed this up this time. I was going to say something, but I thought there was something that you were doing that I didn't know. There's no surprise now. We killed it.
Yeah, do we re-record this or do we just keep
going?
We're
winging it now. We just give her.
All right. All these cards, we listed them, top down. Either way, but the next thing, but we don't have any fancy technology. It's just a piece of paper and a pen.
Like the olden days.
But the space, like the card quality between all the cards on the list isn't like huge gaps between 1 and.
No, these are all debatable.
Yeah, it's all, you can argue either way for all of them. So, the Blaster, not necessarily way worse than Piercing, but I just didn't feel like it was played enough. Because the only deck it runs in right now is
Mega Bugs.
So. And then our next card is also a 5-drop card. I didn't have anything more with that. Steam Tank Crayon. I don't know where I was going with that. Also a 5-drop. A better hyperspeed dragon.
Yeah, I mean there is no armored dragon clause to it. It's just so fast.
Yeah.
It makes everything so fast. It makes
and beefy when it swings.
And beefy. It
They
makes Bricklebacks, Gilaflames. It makes.
I mean, Magic does obsolescence charts or they don't officially do it, but the community makes them where when they print new cards, they'll list like old cards that are just strictly not as good as the new ones. Yeah, this would be one where the Dragon Hyperspeed's just kind of getting knocked off by Steam Tank Crayon because
he also fixes mana in the decks that it needs to be fixed in.
Right. It's also, there's some pretty neat innovation going on with him right now, kind of floating around with like Perklebacks. They turn into mini Gilaflames, which is
kind of cool, actually.
I wish we had thought of that. Yes,
we did. No, we didn't. Good job out there.
Yeah, whoever did, I wish I could credit someone specifically with it, but you know who you are, I guess, if you're watching this.
Good job, you.
Yeah. So Steam Tank Crayon, it just enables a lot of shenanigans with anything that costs more than it. Or less than it with a Prickleback instance. But,
attacks for days.
Attacks for days. Well, I don't know if you want to rumble with him specifically, but yeah. Enables attacks for days. And then number 8 on our list, Grip of Despair. can be fairly underwhelming depending on, the size of your opponent's hand. Sometimes it just buys you a draw step, buys you like a little itty bitty time. But sometimes it's like, Andromeda, go. No hand. Oh, grip. Look, I just answered that threat.
It's pretty situational. I think it's just strictly better than Veil Vortex for the decks that are playing Veil Vortex.
Right.
Fixes mana. Costing 5 probably isn't the biggest deal, and it does have the potential to just deal with cards that can't be banished too.
That's true too. Yeah. Pretty solid card. I like it a lot. But of all the cards on the list, it's definitely one where it can be super underwhelming when you hit it off of a shield break. Or it's good, but it's...
Yeah, it could be the Nutter Butters, or it just could be, I will discard this really underwhelming card in this matchup to continue to replay this threat.
Mm-hmm.
If it does buy you a draw step, it buys you a draw step to find an answer to that threat. It's better than just losing to specific cards, but...
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. So that's our top 8 list of
multi-civ cards.
Multi-civ cards, yeah. I was going to say the best multi-civ. We got another set coming up here pretty soon. September. I'm going to mess this date up, but
Well, it's just so far away.
yeah. So in
I really
September.
wish it was before Seattle. Just like the day before, and we just brew and brew and brew. It'd be so much fun.
It would be.
Maybe not the day before, like a week
Well,
before.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, like the week before would have been.
Yeah, this metagame's getting pretty stagnant in the game.
Well, I agree and disagree at the same time, but we can. That's not this video.
All right, we'll save that. We'll bicker back and forth in the next video. I might flip the table over. I might throw more mustard. He might get one of these.
I already forgot about the mustard. Bring the mustard back up. So
are you salty about the mustard?
I'm not salty. No, it's just silly.
He told me not to do it. I did.
Sneaky Steve. So that's our top 8 list. What do you think you would like on the list? We did have some that didn't make it. We were going to do honorable mentions, but we figured we'd leave it up to you to kind of throw your suggestions out there. We got some pretty good suggestions on the last top 8 list as far as what people were thinking. I think it was the promos for Shattered Alliances, and that's good. Keep up good positive dialogue in the community right now.
Yep.
So if you have any suggestions for the list, what you thought should have been there and wasn't, or if you think the order could have been shuffled a little bit, let us know. As always, we're looking for suggestions to improving the videos as well. So if there's anything like, you should make the cards pop up bigger, or
throw more mustard.
or throw more mustard.
Next time, there might be ketchup.
And there was no hat throwing in this one, so I guess maybe we always throw something.
Yeah, I could throw. If you want me to throw things, I'll throw things.
That
That could be a thing.
That was our top 8 list multi-civ creatures, pre-Shattered Alliance,
Pre-Shatter.
because we'll be getting some more in the next set.
The juice.
I'm Jera,
I'm Steve.
and this is Kaijudo 24/7.